Well, hello, everyone. I am so excited about today being the first Friday of 2026. And come on in, I'm so excited. We've turned the corner. We've got a whole brand new year of learning and understanding and applying things that give us joy and in service to others. So I'm Leslie Flowers, and I'm your host. And this is the Think and Grow Rich time slot, which will start next week. So allow me to sing you in. I want to show you this one thing here. As you come in, let us know where you're calling in from. I know where most of you are, but I'm excited to see who's here from everywhere. So. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. We too have run about the slopes and picked the daisies fine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Sing along with me. For old lang syne, my friends, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? And I thought it would be fun to see actually where that expression came from. So as you saw, and I'll turn off this banner now, but now when you're singing, let's see if I can turn it off. There we go. So happy Friday, everyone. I'm very excited about what we're doing here today. Very excited. So let me bring this up on the screen, and I want to take a look in the comments, and I will move this here. And we're going to look at something very exciting today. Image being a cybernetic system really kicked off in 1960 when Maxwell Maltz, and let me bring up the stuff on him, he was a surgeon and a scientist and a philosopher. And that is what makes PsychoCybernetics, written in 1960, so fascinating. He was a cosmetic reconstructive surgeon, got his medical degree from Columbia University. But first, let me take a look and see who's here on this wonderful Friday. All right. So John Werner is here from Chicago. Hello, John. So good to see you. Happy New Year. This will be fun, and it will be done in 45 minutes. This is from the vault, right? So my vault. I've been teaching the work that I'm sharing with you for almost 18 years now. And every week, every day, pretty much, without fail. So I've gone very deep and narrow into principles of success, universal laws, transmutation of radiant energy, alchemy, and particularly how our mind works, because thoughts are the basis for everything. What we're thinking, how frequently we think it, and the way we feel when we think it affects our body and our brain. People think that the brain does everything. Not at all. The brain is an organ or a switching station, electronic, if you will. But the mind is a cellular activity. It is what sets your vibration. And vibration, by now I'm betting you've heard, is what you attract to you matches your vibration. So once you understand them, they're not that complex, but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it's new. The whole idea of mind is relatively new. So when Maxwell Maltz came out with this, it was really amazing. And I'll tell you a little bit more about him in just a minute. And there, look there, there's Philip Ailes calling in from Jacksonville, Florida. Love your new picture, Philip. Wow. Right? Mark Thumar is here from India, so always glad to see you. Jenny is a new friend, and she's calling in from Phoenix, so it's a little early for you. You've noticed that this time slot is now 11 a.m. Eastern. Okay, makes it a little bit better for the people on the West Coast. It makes it a little worse for people in China. I'm sorry for my friends in China. And there is, hi there, 1 hour after. Oh, I'm not sure what you mean. Hi, Omar. Omar has fabulous, does Zoom party lives that are like Jeopardy. And then every Sunday at noon, he interviews people in a very unique way on Do We Really Know Them? So I'm so glad you're here. Happy New Year. And there is my friend Ashif from Toronto. Hi, Ashif. I hope, did anybody sing? I've just been curious about what in the world are those words. And I just looked them up, because we have Google. I guess if it was Encyclopedia Britannica, I could have found it too. All right. So let's see who else is here. Chirito. From the Philippines. Okay. So that makes it nighttime for you, right? Is it like midnight? I think it is. Oh. Well, thank you for being here, Chirito. Chirito is wonderful. And Meryl Cass is here. Oh, you are? You're watching Guy Lombardo. Oh, how fun. How fun. Oh, it was a family tradition. Okay, got it. Got it. Yeah. And we've been singing this all our life, haven't we? I mean, really have. But thanks for Robert Burns, the mighty Scot, who came up with words. I remember sitting on an airplane in England, sitting next to a man from Scotland. And we started to chat, but I didn't understand one word he said. Not even one. So needless to say, the conversation was limited, right? Oh my goodness. Thank you for being here, Meryl. And here's Kimberly Lechnick. She's calling from Chicago. It's been kind of chilly there. And there's Shannon Rose Winfield. Hi, you're out in Phoenix, I believe. I hope you're having a wonderful new year, my friend. And let's see here. Live from northern New Jersey. All right. And here's Christy Williams. I'm so glad you guys are here. I know it's kind of an off day, but I am all about consistency. If you know me, I'm pretty much always here unless I get sick, which is not often, but I think I missed maybe one. Hi, Christy. So good to see you, my good friend. Christy and I are part of the 2350 Network, which is an off-platform personal development group, which is marvelous. And I have to be honest with you, I pretty much stick on LinkedIn, but the 2350 Network is the one place I go off LinkedIn for. Now Meryl is getting me to dip my toes in Clubhouse. I don't want to be spread too thin, and I also don't like to work too hard. And I don't like to spend a lot of time in front of my computer. So I'm very selective about where I spend my time. I know people do all kinds of things, and they're all over all different platforms. You guys know me. I'm here to share information that changed my life, has changed over 1,000 people's lives over 18 years. And once you get it, it's going to change your life too. And there is the most beautiful Linda Meyer. She is a recently certified coach. Have you guys been hearing me, or did my mic just went off? So how long have I been talking without anybody? I hope you guys had heard me. I don't know. It just went off. Anyway, who cares, right? We're not in Mercury retrograde, so I'm not worried. And we have, look who's here. You're calling in from, all right, let us see. Oh, we got Sajid Kumar. How did that happen? Hi, Sajid Kumar. Interesting. Yours was way down on the list. Oh, there's no way of knowing. Okay, so what is my word? Happy New Year. Mine is convergence, coaching, community architecture, content strategy, humor, and systems thinking. You know, I haven't thought about that, Sajid Kumar. Have you guys? Do you have a word? I could tell you I did see. It's 11/11. I can tell you this. So I did something different this year. You know, I'm a master of achievement. I've got the system proven over 500 times, written, of exactly how to set a goal and achieve it every time, unless there's an emergency, right, that only you can handle. But in every case, there is an actual system, and I spent a lot of years figuring it out. But anyway, I'm kind of interested in astrology because I realized that Socrates and Plato and Pythagoras and all of those dudes were all studying the stars and the constellation and vibration. And here we are, in the 21st century thinking that we're the first ones to think about astrology. It's not true. So anyway, this year, on the winter solstice, 12/21, which is my birthday, I wrote down on 13 slips of paper, 13 things I wanted that I didn't know how to get, but I really wanted it. And I folded them up and put them in a really pretty cup that I love. And then every night I would take one out without looking at it and burn it. So leaving it to the universe to hold it. Now, I did take a picture of it, which I haven't looked at because it's easy to forget what those 13 things are. But the idea is you do one each night, which I did. At sundown, I was pretty close most nights, right? It's like I watched the time grow by 5 minutes within just a few days because I looked at sundown, and the next day it was a minute later, and the next day it was 2 minutes later. I'd never done that before. Anyway, I did it all the way through, and the last one I opened on New Year's Day, and the one that I have is probably the most lofty of all things that I want. So I had to smile because how did the universe know that this is the thing that will leave my family well off and living the lives they love, and also a way to give back to others in a very, very big way. So the last one that you open is the one that you work on all year. And this will take a year at least. I mean, if it comes in early, okay, but I will do this. So anyway, I'm so excited that you're all here. And that's a little kind of off the cuff. Sajid Kumar, recruiter in Toronto area. So glad that you're here, sir. And there's 𝗙𝗥𝗏. Hi, 𝗙𝗥𝗏. 𝗙𝗥𝗏 is studying heart math right now, and I'd love to have her on. I haven't reached out to her on Mind Over Matter Mondays because I love heart math, what little I know about it. So I'm so glad you're here. She's from Canada, or living in Canada. And let's see what you have to say here before we get into this. There you are. Oh, Sherry Aquari is here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and missionary, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say Matthew, out of respect. Okay, let's see. Who else am I missing here? I guess when I told that story, things got, look, Lauren's here. Hi, Lauren. I know you're usually working. So glad you're here. Happy New Year, my friend. Lauren and I participated in an anthology by Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House that published in Thanksgiving. And it's all about people's legacy, the story that they want to be remembered for. That was a lot of fun. And you really meet a lot of good people. Ah, look at this. Yours is flow. I love that. Oh, and look, Kimberly's is expansion. Oh, convergence, flow, expansion. What else have we got? You know, I'm not sure what mine is, and I'm really glad that you asked that question, Sajid Kumar, because I don't know. What am I teaching you today? All right, well, we better get into it because now we only have a half hour. Oops. Thank you. Okay. I always start up my shows acknowledging you because we don't know how often people tell us how wonderful we are. This is who you are for me. And I'm so excited that you decided to trade now 30 more minutes of your time with me. And this is Inside the Vault. There's wonderful Jackie Hallberg, Monday nights, 9 o'clock, Just Jacks, and guests. It's live at 9 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. Phenomenal. Lots of wonderful folks here. All right. This is the Think and Grow Rich time slot, which will start next week, where we dig deeply into, let me just put this. I actually even made a little banner. Let's see if I can get this to work. Yeah, starting next week. See, I'm learning how to do all this stuff. Anyway, in this slot, I'm opening the vault. Now, for 18 years, I've been teaching not only the principles of success, but universal law, some quantum physics, some metaphysics, levels of awareness, the 7 universal laws, how alchemy, how to transmute ideas into physical form, what Merlin did. All of that in deep study. Now, I read a lot of books, but I've been around a long time. There came a time, and this was in 2007, late in the year, that I stopped jumping around from workshop to workshop, from discipline to discipline, from weekend intensives, running around the world, right, and doing things that are wonderful, but of which I was very good at all of them. But the one that had my heart was the principles of success. And through that, when that came along, I had already been in personal development quite a while. So we're in the vault. I did 65 12-week programs of the 8 essentials of performance and achievement. And I'm right now just doing this with you, for you, so that you will see that we're all teaching the same thing, but it shows up differently depending on our levels of awareness. And the more ways people articulate it for you moves you from confusion into clarity and raises your conscious awareness of your infinite potential. Okay, are you ready? Now I'm going to turn this off. All right, here we go. So exciting. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is tell you just a little bit more about, let's see, maybe I should make me smaller. No, I think you can read that. Okay. Let me just tell you just a little bit more about Maxwell Maltz. Now, what he discovered, remember that he is a cosmetic and reconstructive surgeon. And he came up with 2 observations that sparked the book to be written in 1960. And I will tell you, I studied it and used it in 1970. So it was only 10 years that it came out. And it helped me with sales, understanding how people saw themselves. But I had no idea I was getting into mind. And I'm not sure that Maxwell Maltz knew either. But what he discovered was some patients were happier after the surgery and others stayed insecure even when their appearance improved. And that's when he realized that it's the self-image, not the physical appearance, that determines confidence and behavior. He is the one who bridged medicine and psychology in a new way that no one had done. Changing the mind's picture of oneself can be more powerful than changing the face, right? That's basically what his book was all about. But what a discovery, right? All right, so let's go on. Let me see. I can make myself smaller here so you can see this. Okay, so I'm going to run through these really quickly. These are his concepts, and I have taken the liberty of weaving in certain words that are current now. Remember, 1960 was 65 years ago, right? And we've learned a lot. I mean, just think about all the people with degrees in neuro and psychologists and therapists that have no idea how the mind works. Not at all. They don't know. Everything is the brain, they say. Oh, the brain is responsible for everything. What if that's not true? Mind is a physical activity proven by scientists. Brain is an organ. They don't do the same thing. So I'm always asking people in neuro, well, tell me what mind is. Oh, well, they describe it in terms of the brain. So they don't know yet, and they're not interested yet. And when they get interested, I'll be here. And there are a few people out there. Okay, let me get back over here. Good morning, Aaron Gibson. So good to see you. This later time is good for you. Aaron's calling in from Calgary, Canada. Oh, you're at work. Okay, I got it. Hi, NK. So glad you're here. And yes, I saw Jackie. Okay, so here's basically the concept in the book. Self-image controls everything. You act, like the person that you believe you are. Or better said, or another way of saying it is, you act like the person that you have perfect faith in your belief in who you are. So if you change your inner picture of yourself, your behavior will naturally follow. Also, he points out that your mind works like a goal-seeking machine. He compared it to a guided missile. Give it a target, and it adjusts automatically. And points out that clear goals, which you've heard me say ad nauseum, one clear goal is going to give you clearer action. He also talked about imagination being more powerful than willpower. Your subconscious mind affects your nervous system. Again, mind is a physical activity that occurs in every cell. So your nervous system is affected by what you're thinking. You can be in anxiety, or you can be peace and calm, right? You get to choose the thought, right? And it's really your thoughts that rewire your brain. It's not your brain that rewires your thoughts. It's the reverse. But anyway, you'll have to figure that one out for yourself or practice it yourself. Also, you can write new beliefs that outweigh the old ones. That's how powerful our mind is. And then we want happiness, which is a choice. You don't wait for it to come to you. You choose either you're going to be happy or you're not going to be happy. You either think happy thoughts and find the good and the lesson in the mistake, or you don't. We all can do this. The question is how long does it take us to realize, oh, well, I stumbled, and what was the lesson? And then I can move on. Does it take weeks, months? How long do we lament when we lose a job? Right? Weeks, months? Or is it that same day when you realize, oh, this is a new opportunity. There's somebody out there looking for how good I am at what I do. And if I'm still at this old place, I can't be there. So when the hammer comes down, it is the biggest gift you've ever had. I promise you. So, all right, let's go on here. I just want to close that. So we went through all of these, actually. I went through all of them. Okay, so mind manages self-image. Self-image controls everything. Visualization works like a goal-setting machine. Imagination is more powerful than willpower. And you can write new beliefs. Happiness is a choice. Pretty much what we all teach, right? I mean, in whatever discipline or vehicle we're using, wherever we are in our studies and our level of expertise, people who don't know what we know, right, need to hear this so that then they do know it while you're learning from other people. Oh, look, Leigh Scheidel is here. Hi, Leigh. Happy New Year. I'm so glad Yes, NK, be happy by choice. Just choose happiness. You know, I was married for over 33 years. Everything wasn't perfect, right? But I remember in the most disgruntled times, I would say, choose it the way it is and the way it isn't, because that is what we do when we marry or when we engage in a partnership. When you choose the way it is, and even the bad times the way it isn't, it's not a trigger. There's no anxiety. It's objective and responsive. You're thinking rather than reacting emotionally. Yeah, look at this. Yep, that's exactly right. Well, at least it's to change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. Basically, that's it. Every life, every one of your lives is unique to the next. The way you see the world and operate in the world is like no other. And your perspective is always changing and growing with new information. Your views on things are changing right now as I'm sharing this with you. And that's a good thing. Anything that doesn't resonate with you, let it go. So this is the basic tenets. So let me go on here because we got time. I did want to let you know about him. I used him as being a top sale. Use this book along with others to be a top salesperson in 1970 and 71 in San Francisco for a chain of figure salons. My boss was a PhD in psychology. She had us read this and The Secrets of Closing Sales by Roth. And oh my God, did we make money that year, right? Because I just ate this stuff up and I'm still doing it. All right. Self-image, what you believe or have faith in who you are, your image, your concept of yourself. I'm learning about identity. It's the way you see yourself. Works like autopilot. So for example, with autopilot, you're leaving New York and you reach a certain speed and you're on autopilot. And then there's a storm. And the storm upsets the autopilot. So it's on manual now, right? And then when the storm subsides, autopilot returns. And you guys who know mechanical engineering, do not laugh when I share this stuff, okay? It's the best I can do so far. And then you're right back on autopilot. But there was a disruptor in the middle of this. And then you go back onto autopilot. Okay, so that's an example of how your self-image works. Now, let me show you something else. Okay, now this is an example of a child. I think I can even make this bigger. I don't know if I can make me smaller and it bigger. Let's see. No, that doesn't do it. Oh gosh, I guess I can take that off. All right, so let's do this for this one. Okay, so this is self-image in a student, a child, right? So the story goes, and by the way, I did this clip art 15 years ago. Okay, so you can see that it's clip art, right? Oh, I was so cool with it, right? Okay, so Johnny has always been a C student. And he's a nice kid. Everybody likes him. He's always been a C student. And because he wasn't in any trouble and he got along great, that was okay. That's how he knew himself. I am a C student. I am a nice, kind person, right? But I'm a C student. Now he's getting ready to get into middle school and high school. And all of a sudden, his parents want him to go to college. They start thinking about this. But, you know, with a C level grades, you're not going to get in. So he's ready to study and he dreams of A's. He wants to go to college. And his parents even bribe him in a way and say, look, if you will really increase your grades, and they inspire him, we're going to get you this fabulous new car, right? I mean, lots of incentive and inspiration. This is the storm, right? Okay. And for a while, he does very well. But then autopilot comes back in. So the set point for A's needed more time. These things take time and intentional thinking to change the set point of your self-image. It wasn't long enough for him to change his belief and develop perfect faith in it. You see, faith comes in three layers. Perfect faith in yourself, in your ability, in your deservability, in God, whatever it is. When you have perfect faith, you know that you know that you know it. It starts out at expectation. Well, I'll give it a whirl. And then as you work on this, you continue for A's, whatever it is, the discipline to become better and better at what you do. There comes a time when you now begin to believe it because you've seen some signs that it looks like it's going to work and it's not coincidence. But that's belief, but it's still not faith. That's the point most people stop at with habit. When you get to the belief stage, but you're still in the disruption, you have not changed the set point. When you complete the goal or whatever it is you're working on, that you actually start seeing A's, that's when you have perfect faith and you've evoked a change or an evolution of your self-image. And maybe this is the shedding of the old ego. I don't know. Let me show you something else. Okay, I went and got this, so don't laugh. But those pictures are kind of funny, right? So I asked AI, show me a cybernetic system. And so I got this. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Which is, it's basically what you're going to see in a minute, which is for at a furnace, there's a sensor. Okay. And so there's a setting for the sensor to get to be at a certain point. And then there's a comparator, which looks at the actual temperature versus the set point. You've set 70 degrees, 68 degrees. Okay, I can hear the laughter. And then the controller determines what to do. And of course, the burner and blower come on by the actuator. The heat is added, the temperature changes, and the set point is reached. But here's another way to look at it. This is what AI told me, okay? Because I wanted to see logically, what is the flow? Because here it is. Here. No, that isn't what I wanted to do. There we go. So this is kind of comparing to little Johnny. Okay, so little Johnny is the C student who wants to go to college and has all these incentives, but he didn't stick with it long enough. The incentive, he wasn't compelled enough. He wasn't in desire long enough to change the set point. So this is another kind of really old rendition. So Johnny says, I'm not smart. I'm a C student. And the thermostat is set at 70. Then one of the kids leaves the door open in the house, and it's winter time, and the temperature drops, and it starts getting cold. And he says, I can't do this. I've never done this before. I can't do it. And that's when the parents come in and start to incentivize him to study harder, and we'll give you this and we'll give you that. When that happens, there's a signal sent to the furnace, and he makes an intention, I'm going to study harder. So he decides, he chooses that I'm going for this thing. And he's very clear about what it is. So then the furnace kicks on because it's cold, the temperatures rise, and he's doing it. He is getting some A's. He absolutely is. Then the temperature is restored to 70 degrees. And he went back to his C's and he said, I knew I couldn't do it. The original set point is held. The furnace shuts off. I am not smart. I'm a C student. Let me look at the quote, your comments. Okay, so I'm going to take a breath here. I have one more thing to show you, and we're right on time, so this is really good. All right, so let's go back here. Love has calmed my inner child. Oh, that's very sweet. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, so LinkedIn isn't playing nice, so you're over on YouTube. Awesome. Awesome. We can always do that for sure, right? I love that. Thank you, Islam. I got your message. Happy New Year to you and to everyone. Hey, Rosa, you made it. I'm so glad to see you. Okay. Any questions? Observations? Okay. You love, what is this? Mind versus the brain. Yeah. And it's new. Like it's 60. Well, let's see. Let me think. Well, think about this. He figured that out and wrote that book in 1960, this discovery. But, there was plenty more going on right around 1900 with Thomas Troward, who at that time was the head of mental science. And his only student was a woman. And I've talked about her before. Her name was Genevieve Behrend. She wrote Your Invisible Power in 1929, maybe 1927. She's the queen of visualization. So this stuff was around, but it's not in universities. So it sounds so different. But once you see the distinction between the two, you realize that the mind controls everything. What you think, how frequently you're thinking it, and the way you feel when you think it, good or bad, actually sets your vibration and your set point, since we're looking at set points. It just takes a little practice. You pick one thing and you practice it. That's it. There's a lot of information here. Whatever resonates with you. If you're curious between mind and brain, just jump in. Any Monday and Friday, you can watch the replays. It's all there for you. Now I want to show you one other thing. And thank you for that. Yeah, this is what I want to show you. Let me get little again. Yeah. All right, so people say, well, how long does it take to set the new set point? Okay, so that's a fair question. It's not overnight. There is no pill. There is hypnosis and all that business. I shouldn't say that. And those disciplines that walk you into your subconscious mind where you see everything that's going on, but it still takes practice. You still can't just do it once. It took years for Johnny to be a C student. That's how he knows himself. When you achieve something big that you didn't know how to do, or you failed at before, that is genius. That is how confidence is built. Confidence is simply a byproduct of achieving things that you took a risk on. When you achieve something you've never done before or you failed at, it means a lot to you. You've disproven the old belief that you failed, because you did fail. But now you have a different viewpoint of your self-image and who you are, because you know you can do this. That builds confidence, and it's a muscle. It grows in direct proportion to its use. So it's important to achieve all your goals as consistently as possible. Otherwise, you're going to achieve one, then you're not, then you are, then you aren't. That doesn't build momentum. So there's a way to do this. You just have to be curious. So here's the thing. You can build perfect faith and change the set point in 12 weeks. That's exactly what I've been doing. I did this with a woman about 4 or 5 years ago, one of my clients who was afraid to speak on stage, really nervous, knew her stuff, and wanted to do a live. And so I took people on in my group for 12 weeks. And in 12 weeks, I helped produce, in my own meager way, I taught her how to speak into the mic, how to look into the camera as though she's looking into the eyes of her lover. I taught her all my tips and tricks and all the technical stuff enough so that she's not interrupted. So by the end of the 12 weeks, that piece of paper that she was reading her script from was gone. And she's been doing it every Friday for I think it's been 4 years. Right? Every single Friday. She's a master at it. But she took one thing. She was really afraid. Public speaking was her biggest fear, like many people. And I walked with her. We, of course, did the mind work, right? But it was the practice. Repetition is the first law of learning. That's how we learn. So the first, as I said, okay, we're doing good on time. Okay, let me just look here for just a second. I don't want to miss anything. Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you, Drone Gal. Oh, gosh. Yes, the sweet success. She did. And there's a lot of people. But, really, it was what they wanted to do. I mean, I've had 500 client goals over the 17 years, and it was all about what they wanted and really getting to the point of where are they on their, their adventure, if you will, what needs to be done next, what can be done in 12 weeks. Not all goals can be achieved in 12 weeks, but you can do goals in 12 weeks that you've never done before and that you've failed at before easily. So really, that's how you create this consistency, by following the same process. Look at this. What is this? This is a Florence Scovel Shinn, 1925, The Game of Life and How to Play It. Love it. Thank you for putting that in there. I love it. Let's see what Kimberly says. How the mind relates to the brain is shaping how individuals are building AI models. Ooh, Kimberly, write something about that, will you? I mean, I know you just did. It's very interesting. I love this. Absolutely. We are 100% responsible for all of it. All of it. Even if we don't understand yet why, you have to be responsible. It's like in a marriage. You know how we used to say 50-50? No. Then no one's responsible. It's 100-100. And, some people will do closer to 100. And, there's a lot of give and take. But it's about being responsible for whatever it is, for choosing the way it is and the way it isn't. That will make you very happy. Oh, that's fantastic, Jocelyn. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so I had mentioned this before. Thank you, Jocelyn, for sharing that. In 12 weeks, you start off with to build perfect faith and change the set point in yourself. That's the minimum time. And it's about a halfway through where you hit habit. And habits don't always stick. Do you want perfect faith, or do you want a habit that works for a while or maybe forever? We don't know. You start off with the thing that you expected. I'm going to give it a whirl. Then what you do is each week you move toward whatever that one thing is that you want and do a task or two every other day. You're visualizing that you already have it completed on the screen of your mind. The image that you bring up has a vibration attached to it. So if the universe is going to give you what you want, you're going to manifest the thing that you want, the universe will match your vibration. If you're thinking a lot and talking a lot about terrible things to come that have happened, and you get yourself all upset, you've lowered your cellular vibration, and that's what's coming toward you. People that talk about sickness, gather people who talk about sickness. My doctor had this. Oh, look at this psoriasis here. Oh, yeah, but look at mine over here, right? So everybody's vibration is low. So it's really up to you. So you have this one thing that you want very much, that you want to change your set point. You want to have perfect faith in your ability to run a 12-week show, just like this lovely woman did. Every week we'd meet. She'd do the show. We'd meet a couple of times to discuss what the show points are. We did that every week. About halfway through is when you now have a firm opinion that you're going to achieve this. This is the habit state, but it's still not perfect faith. You have a firm opinion based on people and opportunities that are showing up, not coincidences. Oh, goodness, I got to hurry. You thought they were coincidences, but now you know, well, what if they aren't coincidences? What if I actually attracted them? That's belief. You have a firm opinion in it. But then when you completely completed the thing that you didn't know how to do, little Charlie or the student, Johnny, right? When he starts consistently getting A's, that's when he has perfect faith in his ability and deservability, and he has a new self-image set point. Okay. So that pretty well, let me just see what I have next here. Jocelyn, I got to find you so I can turn this off. There you are. Okay. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, you like this. Absolutely true that habit is not yet faith. So see, so the whole thing about habits, people say 21 days. Nah, that's if you're only doing one thing. And you know you're not doing one thing. Most people are doing 21 things. No, it's not so. And this is why your habit doesn't stick. But if you take it all the way through, then you have perfect faith. Nobody can question that. So you can do it in 12 weeks. And I can help you if you want. But this is not a sales thing, as I just know what to do. Next Monday, I'm very excited. Our first guest is Candace Van Der Tolten on Mind Over Matter Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Okay, she's our first guest of the year. She's a guest teacher. And Mind Over Matter Mondays is all about listening to different teachers' articulation of these similar concepts so that you get to resonate with one or more of them. And it's through the resonance and the repetition that you're able to embrace a concept and own it enough to teach it. Okay. And then next Friday, January 9th at 11 a.m., we're going to do 12 weeks of study and application of the principles of success in Think and Grow Rich and vital complementary learning concepts. So I'm opening up the vault to all of you in 2026. So you're going to learn this universal laws. You're going to learn levels of awareness. You're going to learn everything I know. I'm not taking it with me. Oh, is Leanna there? Oh, I'm sorry if she's not very well. Hey, Jay, so glad you're here. And Lisa. So we are really at the end here. And what I recommend is that the first 15 minutes, I acknowledged everybody. So you can certainly zip through that and listen to the actual content. Okay, that's it. We're finished. And I'm going to play the outro for Monday. Mind Over Matter Mondays, and it is beautifully created by Aaron Gibson from Soul Man Live Productions. And Mind Over Matter Mondays is sponsored by Power Thinking Corp and Stanley Green, the president and CEO. And with that, should old acquaintance be forgot, remember Robert Burns, and remember Auld Lang Syne, and raise a cup of kindness to your friends. Take care, everybody.